Hello, you wonderful people. Good evening. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of the Thursday Night Live Class. Hello. How are you today? Let me know how you are. I'd love to know how you're doing. How is your life? So, Elena is watching from Venezuela. How are you? ¿Cómo estás? How are you? How's things in Venezuela? I've been to your neighboring country. I've been to Colombia. Never Venezuela, not yet. I would love to see an Angel Falls. Antonella, it's a scorcher here as well. Absolutely scorching in the UK. Catherine, how's New York? Grazie la porta. I'm glad to bring a bit of relaxation back into your life. How was work? Is it busy? Marie Christine, now we can get going. Steffi, welcome. Sounds like it's been a hard day in Italy, maybe after the heat. I don't know. And Kame, hello, welcome. How are you? How's Barcelona? Lake Como. Sarah, lovely to see you. Baby Nodsel, hello. Deborah, welcome. Natalie, where are you in London? Where are you in London? I used to live in Greenwich and other places as well. Michele, welcome. Evandro, hello. It's raining in the south of Brazil. It is boiling here. We've stolen your weather. I apologize. Lots of people. Marine, bonjour, ça va? Ça va bien? I'll get better at French, I promise, Marine. Manisco, hello. Paula, hello. Hot in France as well. It's hot as hell. East Croydon. I've been to East Croydon. Do you like it? Where are you from originally? Cardiff, Wellness, Wispos. Yes, I'm feeling happy. I've still got a jumper on, but it's not going to be long before I'm in a shirt again, I think. Absolutely. So, what have we got planned for tonight? Well, it's your words pronounced. Your words pronounced. I know this is a bit of a rubbish title, but I think it does the job. What is it? It's your words that you submitted pronounced. Now, as ever, let me move it on to the next slide. There we go. I forgot how to do this. It's been a week. So, just to let you know, last week's class will be added to the English Right Now community. The English Right Now community is basically a WhatsApp group, and there is a huge library of previous live classes. So there's lots of live classes on there that I've done before. It's getting noisy, that fan. Lots of live classes that I've previously done. There's I think about 40 hours worth of classes. And now we're actually renaming it to the British English Language Library. So all of my previous live classes are there, but there's also going to be an exclusive monthly class just for members of the English Right Now community. So if you're already a member of the English Right Now community, don't worry. We're changing the name, so don't join the new one. You're already a member. And if you are interested in getting access to that huge amount of content, hours upon hours of content, I'm going to send you a little link there where you can learn more about it. It's £7 a month. You can cancel at any time. And that didn't work very well, did it? Because it split the link. Of course it did. So it's £7 a month. But if you've got any questions, just text my wife. The number is at the bottom of that checkout. But it includes WhatsApp groups and exclusive content and everything like that, which, as I say, we're changing. Now, let's get on with your words. This is what you've been here or come here to listen to. So, first of all, this was Antonella. Antonella, where are you? You asked how to say these two words, and it was more specifically about the suffix, the age. Now, that first word looks like courage, and the second word looks like mortgage. However, the pronunciation is courage, 2 syllables, stress on the first, and mortgage, 2 syllables, stress on the first. Now, the T in mortgage is I'm glad you have already joined it. It's called the British English Lesson Library now. You need to get that right. It spells bell, basically. I'm going to start calling it Join Bell. But the T is silent in mortgage. And basically, the letters AGE as a suffix are usually pronounced when they're in a 2-syllable or more word. They're usually pronounced idge. So, courage, mortgage, so on, cabbage, and so on. So it's cabbage, courage, mortgage. It is not mortgage or courage. However, we do have the word engage. So be careful. It's not a golden rule, but usually it's age, not age. I hope that helps, Antonella. Then we had another one from you. How to pronounce the suffix ate. Ate. And by the way, the basic rule here, by the way, is if it is not the stressed syllable, it will be age. So in the case of engage, it's the second syllable, it's stressed. That's that's kind of the golden rule there. So if it's an unstressed syllable, itch, itch. If it's stressed like an engage, age, age, engage. So I hope that helps. Unstressed, itch. This one is a bit trickier. So how do we pronounce the letters ate as a suffix? Well, it depends what kind of word it is. So if it's an adjective or a noun, we pronounce those letters ut, exactly like Mary Lou has shown, a schwa and a t. So it's accurate, 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 not accurate. Okay, so accurate there is an adjective, an accurate shot. The second word is a verb. And when those three letters are on the end of a verb, we pronounce them eight, like the number 8. I'm an English teacher, not a maths teacher, you can tell. So this is accurate, intimidate. So noun or adjective, ate, those letters on the end are pronounced ut. As a verb, 8. Okay, so we have accurate and intimidate. But no, but we're talking it's not really a suffix there, it's one word, one syllable. So mate will be one syllable. It follows the same pattern as things like age, cage, page. It's not really a suffix. It's not 8. So ate in this case is a suffix when it's on. You're very welcome. This one, can somebody tell me in the comments, how do we pronounce this word? Is it ut or 8? How do we say it? How do we say this word that's on the page? Is it ut or 8? There's some disagreement here. Okay. Okay, there's some disagreement. So I'll tell you what. If you said ut, you are correct. If you say 8, you are also correct. Graduate is the noun. He is a graduate in biosciences. If you are talking about the verb, he graduates this year. Now, sometimes you will hear graduate or graduate for both, but it's graduate is the noun, the person. Graduate is the verb. So it follows the same pattern. It is a tricky one. I'm sorry. There's quite a few of those. You have separate, which means split. They are separate. That's an adjective. And separate, which is the verb. I could go on. But the golden rule here is the letters ate as a suffix on a 2 or more syllable word. If it is a noun or an adjective, pronounce it ut. If it is a verb, 8, like the letter 8. Like the number 8. The letter. Dear God. Sorry, guys. I'm definitely an English teacher, not a mathematician. Okay. And finally, you asked about the suffix ous. Well, in the case of ous, it's usually pronounced as a schwa and a s. So it's curious and nervous. It is not curious or nervous. It is us. And this will go across the board. Curious, nervous. So when you see those letters ous on the end of a 2 or more syllable word, that it's pronounced us. Okay. Let's move on to some lovely words by Steffi, I believe. Oh no, wait a minute! I've got a one here. So somebody as a joke, let me make this bigger, sent this one to me. Don't worry if you've never seen or heard this word before. It's a joke. It's a bit of a joke. Well, it's not a joke, but if you know the song the film Mary Poppins, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. It's a musical, a Disney musical from like the 1950s, 60s, and she sings this word, supercalifragilistic. Oh God, I've lost it. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's um that's what it is. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And it says something like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. But it proves my point with the us. So it's not supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's us. I love this movie as well. My godmother loves this movie so much, this film so much. She loves it. And she's a bit like Mary Poppins, if I'm totally honest. I love my godmother very much. But let's move on to this one. So it's a bit of a joke, but I thought it was a bit of a challenge. I think some people tried to challenge me, and bringing me on kindly is this word. God, thanks, Steffi. Now, if you don't know what this is, it is a sort of a small spit of land. Like basically a narrow piece of land with water on either side, which connects two areas of land. So you have land, and a little kind of spit of land. We often call it a spit, if I'm totally honest. This word is commonly requested. I thought you might like this one, Steffi. I'll see you later. So, two pronunciations here. You can pronounce it with the for the th of isthmus, but I think that's a bit of a mouthful. There are two recognized pronunciations. Most people just say isthmus, 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 the isthmus of Panama. So they will say two syllables, stress on the first. Isthmus. I think it's a lot easier to say. Most natives will cut that th because it's really difficult to get it out. So it's actually easier than it looks. I think, yeah, no th, get rid of it. Think of it as isthmus. The isthmus. I think because it's difficult. Listen, isthmus. And even when you hear people trying to pronounce it, it goes isthmus, isthmus. And a lot of them just will shorten it anyway, isthmus, isthmus. And I'm kind of doing it there, but it's a very clipped sound. So really just go for isthmus, if I'm totally honest. It's not a word we commonly use, I'll be honest. I was wondering whether to teach it, not because I don't think it's a great word, but more because I don't think it's overly useful. There's some more words about that coming up. I would probably say a little spit of land. This one, it looks like simile, but it's not. It's simile. Simile. 3 syllables, stress on the first. Simile. Simile. So think me li. Make sure you've got that clipped E sound at the end. It's not the elongated simile, it's simile. But it's not simile. I love it. Simile. Simile is basically where we compare she walks with beauty like an angel. It's like using the word like and as. In France, you say, I'm gonna have a try. Is it simile? Simile? Don't know. That's my French. Bonsoir. So I used to speak French and I can't remember half of it. This one looks ridiculous. Again, not a common word. More we'd use hierarchy and find a way to use the noun rather than use hierarchical. Hierarchical. I've been asked that twice in about 15 years. And I think it tends to be students who would use it maybe in their first language and just find it tricky. I honestly say most native speakers will find a way around it. Hierarchical. So the stress is on ra, on that ah of the second syllable, but we have a minor stress on the first, hierarchical. And we have that higher, higher. You could split it into 2 syllables, higher, but I would say it's more of a triphthong, if you believe in those. Long story. Hierarchical. Hierarchical. Not e, not e. You have to teach me this. My knowledge of French is très mal. This one is a plant. I have one in front of my house. A beautiful fuchsia. Fuchsia. So you've got you, the pronoun you, sh, fuchsia. So imagine that final syllable is sh, fuchsia. The same sound as the counties. Sure, Yorkshire, fuchsia. It's not a county. It's a beautiful plant, and I love fuchsias. Gosh, I just sounded like my father then. Goodness me. This one has two pronunciations. You could do it with 3 syllables. Nauseous. Nauseous. Hello, Kavita. Hello, Ruby. Welcome, Ruby. Simile and metaphor, yes. So you could say nauseous. Nauseous. It does sound a bit like fuchsia, does sound like future, but slightly a different sound on the end. So it's sh, not ch. Excuse me. Most native speakers cut it down to 2 syllables and just say nauseous. Nauseous. So you've got that nor, or, that vowel sound or, the same one we see in door, and a zh, like in massage, and us. Nauseous. Again, Antonella, your us at the end. Nauseous. Nauseous or nauseous. I prefer 2 syllables. I just think it's easier. I'm lazy. Cut that middle syllable out. Get rid of it. Get rid of a syllable. Nauseous. Nauseous means feeling maybe like you're going to vomit. Like that. Sorry, that was horrible. Please don't panic. This one, goodness me, I get requests. This one gets requested probably every few days. This one depends on the dictionary you look at. Some dictionaries will say it's 1 syllable. Some will say it's 2. Either way, we don't pronounce the at the end as an isolated word. We do if it's followed by a vowel sound. The choir is lovely. So the pronunciation of this word is choir. Choir. It's not chwire or chwa. I've heard it pronounced chwa. Imagine those first 2 letters are qu. Qu. So it's like a k and a u. Qu. 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 Aya. Choir. Choir. Not even native. Yeah. Oana, I often pronounce them because they've been asked for by members of the course. But I do also sort of give alternate examples. There's another one coming up in a bit that gets asked all the time, Oana. But again, not everybody knows what words native speakers don't use or don't know. So there is always that. So, for example, for all the person new, isthmus could have been a common word. It's just not used. We shy away from bigger Latin words quite often. So this one is choir. Very good word. This one looks like there's so many silent letters in this, really. It's vengeance. Vengeance. Ceramic. Ceramic, not ceramic. 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 Again, not the most common word to use, but that's because it's very a niche thing. So vengeance, 2 syllables, stress on the first. Okay, so it's not vengeance, I love that, but it's vengeance. Vengeance. Excuse me. This one you had an extra question with. I love this question. No, there is no linking R in this word whatsoever because there are no 2 vowel sounds together. But this word in a modern British RP accent is epitaph. Epitaph. 3 syllables, stress on the first. Epitaph. Thank you. I'm burning up. I'm not gonna lie. I've got a fan down here going, and it's like practically freezing my legs off, but the top half is melting. I'm melting. But there you go. So it's epitaph. Americans will say epitaph, and a lot of Northern English will say epitaph with that a sound rather than the r sound. But this one technically is epitaph. But I hear a lot of speakers saying epitaph. Not a common word, actually, to be honest, again. But we do know what it means. This one, what an extraordinary, no. This one looks like extraordinary, and it's not. I think it was Deborah that sent me this one. It is not extraordinary, it's extraordinary. Or is it? Well, some people will say it with 5 syllables, stress on the second, and some people will cut it extraordinary. 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 Extraordinary to 4 syllables. Extraordinary. That's extraordinary. I personally would go with 4 syllables. It's easier. And I think it just adds a bit of unnecessary syllable usage, unnecessary tongue movement. You're moving your tongue a bit more than you do. Extraordinary. Extraordinary. Cut that schwa in the penultimate syllable. Hello, Enza. So this one is extraordinary. Ah. And this one is opportunity. Opportunity. So there's a minor stress on the first, but it goes opportunity. Opportunity. 5 syllables, stress on the third, minor stress on the first. Opportunity. Opportunity. I'm glad I gave you the opportunity to send me these words. Hi, Rotimi. How are you? Or is it Rotimi? Let me know. So this one, there were 3 here. Okay. The first one, I don't know what it looks like. Aubergine. But it's aubergine. 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 3 syllables, stress on the first. And it's that gene. Some people will say gene and some people will say gene. Aubergine. Aubergine. But I would say aubergine. I think it's closer to the French there. So be careful there. It's got 2 kind of pronunciations. Gene and gene. I go with more gene. Aubergine. I hate aubergines as well. The second one, not a common word, but a great word nonetheless. You do hear it in the news. You do see it in the papers. It looks like clandestine, but it's clandestine. Clandestine. 3 syllables, 3 syllables, stress on the middle. Des. Clandestine. This means planned or done in secret, especially describing something that's not officially allowed, like a clandestine government operation. We often see this sort of word in American TV shows where there's espionage and spies, a clandestine operation into another country, this kind of thing. So we would say clandestine. And the final one is varying. Varying. So we do pronounce the here. It's there, like put the tip of put your teeth on that part, and then the diphthong air, there, e, short e, ing, varying. 3 syllables, stress on the first. Okay, now I'm going to show you a name. It's a surname, but I believe there may be some places with this name. I want you to tell me how many syllables you think are in this name. How many syllables are in this name? Thank you. Thank you, Rex. And thank you, Claudia. I'm still going. Parmigiana. Carla says this 4 syllables. Mary Lou's gone slightly less, with 3. Marie Christina said 4. Chinta's gone wild and said 7. Friabonna 4. Ruby Fong 4. What if it's 5? Rex has gone crazy and gone 3. Deborah has gone 3. Michael Rogers has gone 3. Renza has gone 2. Francisca has gone 3. Lots of you 4. Right, this one is ridiculous. This one is ridiculous. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you a little story after this that I could probably put into a YouTube video. And I'm going to tell you a little story, and I'm going to basically write the word because I forgot to put it here. But this one, technically, there are some variations of this word, but most people say 2 syllables. Fanshawe. Fanshawe. Now, before you get sad, I'm going to tell you a story. There's not 1 syllable, there are 2. So it's Fanshawe. Fanshawe. Now, this, I'll be honest, looks like Featherstone Haw. Featherstone Haw. But it's pronounced Fanshawe. I know, it's ridiculous. A lot of people, no way. I know, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Names can be a bit erratic. Okay? Names can be a bit stupid. Now, probably at this moment in time, you're going, how the hell am I meant to learn English? Well, with names, it's a bit stupid. And with place names, it can be a bit silly. So don't judge yourself. I'm going to tell you a story about a mistake that I made. I'm a native speaker. English is my first language. How could I make mistakes? Well, let me show you a word. Let me show you a word. There are some variations. Some people say feasterhay and feastenhay. God, why would they bother? But I'm going to show you a name. Don't worry, I'm not being rude. Right. Don't worry, it looks rude. Can anybody see this word? It's going up there now. Cockburn. Cockburn. Now, a cock can be a shortened term for a cockerel, but it's also a slang term for a gentleman's penis. Okay, cock. It's a bit of a vulgar term, vulgar word for penis. And burn, well, that means when you've got some kind of irritation or sort of almost fire sensation on your skin. So anyway, I was working. It was one of my first ever jobs, and I was in a call center. One of these people that get the headphones on or the headset on. That was it. And this particular job, the name only popped up at the last second. So basically, sometimes you'd get a really long Sri Lankan name, and you just go. But sometimes as well, you'd get these British names like this one, like Featherstone Haw, and it turns out to be Fanshawe. Anyway, so there was a gentleman called this name, Cockburn. And I panicked. And this guy said, hello? And I said, oh, God. Hello, can I speak to Mr. Cockburn, please? And this guy said, what? I was like 20, 19, 20, very innocent. Can I speak to Mr. Cockburn, please? Mr. I know what his name was, but I'm not going to use his real first name in case he's watching this and hates me still. And I said, can I speak to Mr. Paul Cockburn? And he said, what did you call me? I said, I'm really sorry, sir. I'm really sorry. I said, sometimes this happens. People put in fake names and then they put the phone number there, and then I have to say it. And he said, and basically, because Cockburn sounds a little bit like a sexually transmitted disease, if you think about cock being, I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Maybe he's had some kind of incident, he's had to go to the doctors, and now I've just embarrassed this guy. I called him Cockburn, and I said, I'm really sorry. Somebody's written Cockburn. I'm so sorry. And he said, no, you idiot. It's Coburn. It's pronounced Coburn. And I said, oh, sorry. Somebody spelt it C-O-C-K. No, you idiot. It's spelt C-O-C-K, but it's pronounced Coburn. And I said, of course it is. My name is Roy, and you can spell that A-L-A-N. Anyway, the management came down. He complained. I was just like, nobody calls me an idiot on the phone. So the point is, if I can make the same mistake as a native speaker and see a name like that and think it's pronounced Cockburn when it's actually Coburn, there's actually a famous kind of alcoholic beverage called Coburn's Port. So if you have a drink of that, ask for Coburn's rather than Cockburn. But a lot of British people will still say, can I have some Cockburn's Port? And they giggle because it sounds funny. They go, would you like some Cockburn? And they giggle, but it's actually Coburn. This is ridiculous. So please, I want you to know, with love, don't ever judge yourself. If you look at a name like Featherstone Haw and say it and they go, you idiot, it's Fanshawe. You're not an idiot. This is a ridiculous name, as is Cockburn. I stand by that. I'm going to keep calling him Cockburn for the rest of my life. That's how rude that guy was. But let's move on to a word that's actually useful now. This one has got two pronunciations in the Cambridge Dictionary. Personally, I don't pronounce the T, so I say often, 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 often. Some people will say often or often. Some people try to pronounce the T often, but it often comes out as more of a D sound. Often, often, often. You're welcome, Sarah. Thank you, Grazia. It's a true story, and nobody calls me an idiot, and nobody should ever call you an idiot either for getting a name wrong. If you say Leicester instead of Leicester, if somebody's insulting, go, mate, learn to spell it, and I'll say it correctly. So there you go. So this one is often, not often for me, but you can say it both ways. Which do you prefer? Pronounce the T or not pronounce the T? I like it to go with words like soften. Often soften. Welcome, Adenike. Welcome. Good to see you here. I personally say often, 2 syllables, stress on the first, no T. I've had all the tea. Drunk it. Don't need to say it. Let me know if you prefer often or often. You're not wrong either way you say it. No T, says Agnieszka. She's with me. We're a team. Or actually, we're an eam. Sarah says without E. Carla, you're not wrong for using T. Personally, I use both. Grazie la porta. Going crazy, going wild. I prefer without T. Often. Hello, Robinson. Welcome. No T, no T, no T without. Yeah, personally, I just think it sounds a bit sweeter, but I've heard Keira Knightley say often. So fine. I prefer often. Some people will tell you, and if anybody, I've heard ridiculous people say, no, you're wrong, it's often. No, you're not wrong. Tell them, no, you're not, no, I'm not wrong. Sometimes native speakers will try, if they're not aware of the language, they will try and correct you with their own pronunciation. And sometimes there are options. Neither and neither, either and either. There are some other words coming up that we can get on with that one, including this one. Oh, Michelle, don't jump the gun, as they say. Jump the gun means go before, I literally put it up as you said it. I love it. So this one, there are 2 common pronunciations in the world: schedule and schedule. British English is technically schedule. 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 There are some speakers in the north of England, particular, that will say schedule. That was meant to be my Newcastle accent. I don't know whether it's always in Newcastle, but there are some speakers that will swear on their lives it's schedule. But technically, if you look in the Cambridge Dictionary, it's schedule. American English is schedule. I say schedule. I do a sh. Okay? That is technically, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, the British way. Though some native speakers will pronounce it as sketch. Okay? So just be aware that that exists. This was a great question, and I think we had this on the course, interestingly, from Antonella, but this wasn't an Antonella. So they wanted to know, how do I say this word? Because of that last 5 letters. It looks like cause. Well, we don't say because. It's got 2 pronunciations. Because, with an O vowel sound, the same one we see in sock. Because, 2 syllable stress on the second. But quite commonly you'll hear because, with a sound. Because. And both of them realistically sound the same, because. I hope that helps. But it's not because. I'm gonna stay a bit later because I'm teaching. I'm going to get a bottle of champagne because I'm not getting a bottle of... Look at me. I went Scottish there. I don't look like a man. That was a bit of Yorkshire actually there, but I don't look like a man who's going to drink champagne tonight. Maybe at the weekend. Who knows? So now let's move on to this one. This one gets pronounced, because. Hi, Mary. Hello. Good evening. Welcome. Getting a bit singing there, aren't I? This one gets asked for all the time. 2 pronunciations of this word. You could say literature with 4 syllables, literature, but I personally say 3, literature. Lit-ra-ture. 3 syllables, 4 syllables, totally your choice. Literature, literature. Realistically, a lot of people can't tell the difference when I say 4, literature, and 3, literature. But personally, I just cut out a schwa. Lit-ra-ture. Literature. And notice that tr in the middle. Literature. So tr. There's a lot to unpack on that word, but it's literature. What? Sorry, I've just seen that question. Antonella has a z sound, the same sound we see in the word zoo. Sorry, because z, so it's voiced. Literature also means document in paper. It can sort of in some circumstances, but it's more commonly related to books and novels and these kind of things. And it's quite a fancy word for, who's your favorite, what's your favorite piece of literature? I'd probably just say, what's your favorite book? I'd have to look up what you meant by that one. You have to go a bit deeper into that one. I've read the literature. I suppose it sounds a bit more American. This one would before. Ah, love, Robinson. Very welcome. Let's move on because I've got a lot of words to get through here. This one actually, something funny to say about this one. It's human. Human. Why is it funny? Because you hear a lot of people say human. Why? It's kind of a joke. It's how dogs say human. So they look at that and they go, that's my human. That's my human. It's like, human. Whereas actually we technically say human. So don't get sucked in by the meme or the joke. It is human. Lot. So it's not a oo, it's a. It's a, yeah, hue, not a ooh. Okay. Oh my God. This word, this top word. Do you know what? This word drives me insane. Oh, yeah. Grazie la porta. Yeah. Have you got any literature? It's like reading material, but again, it's got a similar meaning. Yes, it is aspirated. Human. Hugh. Hola, ¿cómo estás, Lara? Look at that, dude. Spanish throwing it in there, throwing it out there. This one, the top word, it drives me insane. Okay. I actually made a video on TikTok a while ago teaching the pronunciation in a modern British RP accent. And I seem to find every single native speaker that wanted to argue about the pronunciation. I can say, das ist nicht so gut. Guten Abend. Das ist ein Krankenwagen. I don't know. An ambulance. I can, das Schmetterling. I don't know. Little words. Do I speak Portuguese? Sempre falo português, né? Eu morava no Brasil por 3 anos, mais ou menos. Yes, grazie la porta. Yes. So this for me is, does that vas prima? That means you're the best, I guess. Hope so. Otherwise, it might mean you're an idiot. Well, that was great. Prima looks like amazing. Great. So this word in a modern British RP accent is mischievous. Mischievous. No, wait a minute. Sorry, that's Russian. Sorry, hang on. God. Hang on a minute. Jestem Roy. What is it? Yasmosh? Dobrze? Bardzo dobrze. Maybe. There we go. So yeah, mischievous. Let's go back to English though before I foul up enough languages there. And I do speak some bad words, of course, because I lived with Polish people. I've lived with Lithuanians. I've lived with lots of different nationalities. This is mischievous. It looks like mischievous. A lot of British people will say mischievous. Mischievous means they're a bit kind of naughty, maybe playful, but a bit of a trickster. Bit up to no good, maybe a bit naughty, kind of doing something they shouldn't be doing. That's a bit mischievous, a bit sort of almost corrupt, but more about children and sort of minor naughtiness. So it's mischievous. Now, a lot of native speakers say mischievous. No, they say mischievous or mischievous. That's it, mischievous, with 4 syllables. I've heard everything from mischievous. I've heard everything, but the pronunciation is mischievous. 3 syllables. Stress on the first, please. Don't get lost. The only reason I say this is because I brought it up when I was in a pub with some friends, and they're all like, "Oh, it is mischievous," and I was like, "It's one of the few times I swear," but I said it really isn't, and they were like, "No, it is. It's mischievous." I was like, "Right, let's get Youglish out." That's it's got bad when I start getting the dictionary out in a pub with my friends, and they still refuse to pronounce it like that. So anyway, next up we have rural. Rural. So the first syllable is r, the second syllable is rul. So it's got that r, the diphthong r, and then and a dark L. Rural. My suggestion to you is to break it into 2 parts. I speak well, I think that means. I'm guessing that means speak well. You can kind of dissect a bit of German. So it's rule. Make sure you get that dark L. It's an ul at the end. Rural. Break it down. Rural. Okay. So, not a la. If you make it rural, it won't work. Rural. I live in a rural area. Okay. So the next one looks like epitome. Looks like epitome, but it is. Is he same vowel? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? It's not a like in Dublin. Got me faces last week when he made a face. So it's Billy Joel. Billy Joel. Billy Joel. It's not rural. Oh no, so that's a schwa in that final syllable. Rural. It's you can pronounce the schwa, but it's a dark L technically, so it's rural. But you can put a slight schwa in there to make it easier. Rural. So it's not quite the same vowel sound. That's a not a. Okay, it's slightly off, slightly different. This one is epitome. The epitome. It's like the perfect example of something. The epitome of evil. The epitome of evil. So it's not epitome. It's epitome. Epitome. 4 syllables. It looks like 3, but it's not. 4. Good words. Mischievous, rural, epitome. That's a combination, isn't it? This one, I think, was inspired by the fact I taught the pronunciation of HAM. So this is Rotherham. Rotherham. So imagine at the end it's a rum, rum. Rotherham. It's not Rotherham. And that is silent. The second sound is silent. It's not Rotherham. Bear in mind, we are talking in a modern British RP accent. So somebody from Yorkshire might go, Rotherham. I'm going to Rotherham. So it's slightly different, but I would say Rotherham. Oh, we do pronounce that Rotherham. Yeah, it is there, sorry. It is a sound. Rum. We do pronounce both R's in that word. Sorry. This one. Oh, that's quintessential, Grazie Laporta. That's quintessential. This one, my goodness. Who wants this one? Who loves this word? Who hates this word? Friabonna, what is Rotherham? It's a city in South Yorkshire. It's a city. Oh, it might be a town. I think it might be a city. It's not far from Sheffield. Oh, Mary Lou hates it. Yeah, you're probably not home. Who loves this word? Who hates this word? Who wants me to make it easier for them? Hate it. Hate it. You're welcome, Friabonna. Friabonna, sorry. Right. Who wants me to make this word easier? And so you should, Shem. So, if you pronounce it slowly, you will say clothes. Clothes. And I think that's quite tricky. However, if we speed it up into natural flowing conversation, we get rid of that the sound. It sounds more like close. Close, like close the door. So at slow speed, you need to pronounce the z. Clothes. What are you gonna do? Clothes. What are you picking up? Clothes. Even then, some people do say, "Oh, clothes on the floor. Clothes on the floor. Clothes on the floor. Some clothes." However, speed it up. Close. Get rid of it. Close. Close. Now, if I say it as an isolated thing, close doesn't sound quite right, does it? If I just say close, it sounds like shut. Clothes, isolated. In a sentence, though, what are you going to buy? Oh, I'm going to buy some clothes from the shop. Cut it. Just cut it. Isolated, yeah, but slow it down. Clothes. Clothes. And it makes that like that. But speed it up. Don't bother. Make it easier for yourself. Otherwise, if you try to pronounce it properly in a fast flowing sentence, it goes like this. I'm going to buy some clothes from the shop. Can't speed it up. This one, somebody wanted to know how to pronounce this. It's Edinburgh. 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 However, some people will cut that schwa in the final in the penultimate syllable and just say Edinburgh. So that B-U-R-G-H could be pronounced borough or bruh. Either way, it works. Edinburgh. I say Edinburgh. Somebody from Edinburgh might say it differently. I'm not telling anybody how Scottish people say it because I'm not Scottish, but I'm saying in a modern British RP accent, it's got two pronunciations, Edinburgh or bruh. Yeah, it's the kind of, it's a form of borough, like Middlesbrough. And Middlesbrough. I can't think of any other borough. There's loads. Haysborough. This one is freight. So it's freight, like the number 8. I keep doing this. Freight. Freight. So imagine, first of all, don't try and say freight. It's freight. Freight. Gibraltar. I think he sometimes pronounces his name Rafe. Rafe. I'm not entirely sure on how he pronounces his name. Names are very personal. So my name is Roy, but I could well and truly pronounce it Hua if I wanted to, just closer to its origin. The French for king. Marine and Carla can vouch for that. So this is freight. Don't try and split those. Freight. It's eight. Freight. One syllable though. Freight. Who asked for this one? Get rid of the in this word. Oh, by the way, a lot of people will say Ralph for that name. Ralph. But I think he does say Rafe. I think. But names are very personal. Grazie Laporta. This one, don't pronounce the R. Iron. Iron. In some dictionaries, it will tell you it's one syllable. In some, it will tell you it's two. Either way, the pronunciation is iron. Iron. Yeah, it looks more like that. Iron. 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 Two seconds. Oh, I lost a bit of cut. This one. Oh, okay. This is. Isn't it couture? It's not a word we use very common. Couture. Couture. It's not a word I very commonly use. That one, I'll be honest, Adenike. I've seen you just request that then. So this one is iron. Let's talk about this one. This one is a word we use. This one would be vineyard. Vineyard. It is not vineyard. Peterborough. Perfect example. Thank you. Vineyard. Get rid of the E in this word. It is vineyard, not vineyard. Iron. Absolutely. Although it's slightly different in pronunciation to ion. Although some people say iron and make it a synonym. This word is unscathed. Purchase. Purchase. This one is Durham. Durham. So this word on the page is unscathed. Unscathed. Ironing. Ironing, Menno. This one, silent B, debt. Debt. Don't say debt, but it's debt. Silent B. So this one is, let's get something interesting here. This is the same pronunciation, Steffi, by the way. Unscathed means unharmed. It's a bit of a more formal word. Sorry, I can't get this up. So the meaning of unscathed basically means unharmed, unaffected. I left the fight unscathed or unaffected, basically. Same pronunciation, verbal noun, purchase. Still the same. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so this one on the screen is, well, there's two pronunciations: literally or literally. Literally. I prefer 3 syllables, and it makes it more of a ch. Literally. 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 You can do 3 syllables or literally. Your choice. I prefer literally. It's one of these words that native speakers often shorten down. We do it a lot. Family. I'm going to see my family at the weekend. Not family. Family. Not battery. Battery. Not library. Library. This one is scheme. Scheme. Well, my accent is a modern British RP accent. It's really, that's very subjective to you. All of them have the best accent. There's no one right accent, no one wrong accent. There is no one right pronunciation. Well, there are correct pronunciations, but there's no one right accent, one wrong accent. There's none more clear or less clear. It depends very much on the listener. It depends very much on the preference of the person. You know, I get all the time, well, I want to learn a Liverpool accent, a Scouse accent. I'm like, good, do it. It doesn't upset me. I'm happy. An accent is kind of like a choice in a way. So no, it's not kind of like skin. It's scheme. 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 It's got a long E. It absolutely does. So Mary Lou, it's your choice. It really is. Do you prefer Scottish accent and Edinburgh accent? If I talk to you like that in an Edinburgh accent, is that a bit better? You know, is that something you like? That's fair enough. But if you listen enough to Manchester, you will get it. So this is ski, scheme. Oh God, I get this one all the time. Okay, as an isolated word, we do pronounce the R in the middle. It is not an elongated sound because there are 2 of them. It's just a single sound. It's mirror, mirror, not mirror, not mirror. Don't elongate it. Just because we have 2 letters doesn't make it longer. Ridiculous, really, but it's mirror. Mirror. It sounds like a schwa. Mirror. Mirror. It's the schwa. You really need the schwa in there. A lot of times. You've asked that a couple of times. This one. Depth. Depth. This one is scandalous. Oh my goodness, it's scandalous. Scandalous. It sounds Victorian, this one. Scandalous. That's absolutely scandalous. Full of scandal, full of things that could affect one's reputation. Scandal. Scandalous. Again, it proves that us sound on the end. Scandalous. This one, who asked for this one? Onomatopoeia. This one got requested like 3 times. I was like, why? Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. What a beautiful word that is. Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. Fifth. 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 There certain speeds can cut certain fifth, fifth, fifth. Some people will cut that fifth. So the speed. The 5th time I asked you. You're very welcome. So, and always, Gratia Laporta, when speeding up, sounds get lost. Strawberry, not strawberry. So this one is onomatopoeia. This are basically words that sound like the action, like a moo. Sounds like the actual noise it makes, or drip, 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 drip. Sounds like the sound. Sounds like the action or the activity. Onomatopoeia. Rota. Yeah, you do. You can pick up any accent with time. Just picking up the sounds. This one, let's get as many done as we can in the last 3 minutes, is picturesque. Picturesque means beautiful. This one, I always get asked for this one. Do you want to know what the pronunciation of this word is? I feel like people try to challenge me to see if I can pronounce it or even know what it is. This is the pronunciation of this one is E-N-T. E-N-T. Nobody says this word. Nobody says this word. Very rarely. Do you know the reason I know this word is because my father-in-law, who is from Brazil, is one of these. E-N-T. Ear, nose, throat doctor. The pronunciation technically of this is otorhinolaryngologist. Nobody's going to do this. Shen, you're absolutely right. I need to see an ENT. An ENT doctor. This is one of these words that, like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious or anti-disestablishmentarianism or otorhinolaryngologist or floxinoxynihilipification, that people throw out and go, "Dare I say this?" Because they kind of want to test me, I guess. Nobody does this. Please keep it natural, ENT. Don't learn these sort of words. This one is fine. Unadulterated. Unadulterated. This means not spoilt or made weaker by the addition of something like a substance. So, or it basically means pure, unadulterated fun. I mean, it's got such a word in it. It sounds like adultery in there, but never mind. Somebody asked for, what don't you want? What don't you want? What don't you want? So you got that, don't you? You could glottalize the T or cut it. What don't you want? What don't you want? Sounds a bit more cockney though. What don't you want? What don't you want? What don't you want? Eh? What don't you want? What? I would get rid of that. I'd glottalize that T. What don't you want? This one is a ridiculous word, Marine. It looks like colonel. I like it when people say colonel. It's not, it's colonel. 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 Colonel in the army. Same with the ridiculous name of lieutenant. Lieutenant. That's another one. Okay, so couple here. Advertisement in a modern British RP accent, although you will hear some people say advertisement. It's advertisement. Yes. Oh, God, here he is. Let me see. There are 13 trees. 3 of them are theirs. The ones that are theirs are there. Ridiculous. No, so worm has got that vowel sound, like in the word bird, or in the word kernel. And warm has got the or sound, like in door. So worm is like bird. Think of the bird eats the worm. The early bird gets the worm. People all know that from trauma. Have some trauma related to that if you're on the course. Yep. And warm as in door. The door is warm. I don't know why a door would be warm, but never mind. And the verb is advertise. Advertise. And finally, we have wild and wilderness. I did have quite a few more, but we can save these for another day. So if you are interested in getting access to a lot of hours, many hours of lessons, some exclusive content, and you're not already a member of the English Right Now community, you can join it by clicking on this link or checking out the link in there. And if you have any questions, there is a link, there is a phone number for you to contact via WhatsApp where you can ask any questions. So, thank you very much, Mary Lou, and Shem, you're very welcome. If you are already a member of the English Right Now community, last week's lesson will be added and be taken off of public. It will be removed from the public, never to be seen again, only by members. And if you're interested in becoming a member, you can by checking out that link. Lots of love to you all. Thank you very much for spending this evening with me. This lesson will be available for 1 week, so if you want to come back and check, you can. But after that, it will be added again to the English Right Now community. I will see you next week. I look forward to it. Have a great evening. Speak to you very soon.